will have the Brahms first piano concerto with Nelson Freire. And then I always try to put something together which is for my taste fitting and also at the same time information for the audience. So that kind is very easy for me because Brahms and Dvorák were very good friends. So for me it was very, very interesting to understand how much they were close together. Then Dvorák, of course, grew up more in the natural field of Czechoslovakia, of the Slavonic flair, of the Slavonic feeling. And I could understand very, very much Dvorák because of two reasons. I knew the house where he has lived in, it was near to the castle of Lobkowitz, and in the middle of the forest, very beautiful, very Czech and very much romantic. And then to make the jump on the ship to go to America and surrounded, they're coming to Broadway and to one of the most noisy streets of the world at that time. I think this was even quite a shock for him. As I came to America first, I was a principal conductor of New York Philharmonic, a music director there. I did also Dvorák because it was first performed in the Philharmonic in New York. And it was one of their pieces where they wanted to go on tour also with. And this was very interesting for me that they always tried to play it more in a Czech way, not to do it too dramatic. And then I told them, look, for Dvorák, it was very dramatic change. Because at that time he didn't fly over, he came by boat, by ship. And then the symphony just starts with a homesickness, all this Dvorák flair he left behind him, and not knowing what comes up. And of course he was at least then happy in New York. He could found the first conservatory, he could do a lot of teaching and had a great success with the New World Symphony. So it was fine for him, but nevertheless, people of that kind are always homesick. And you can feel throughout the symphony this wonderful, wonderful feeling, the warm feeling of the country of Czechoslovakia and the wonderful natural music which is around there.
About the Concertgebouw Orchestra, it has been recently voted the best orchestra in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Would you happen to agree, and would you happen to agree just at this specific time that it's the best orchestra in the world?
No, this orchestra is one of the greatest orchestras of the world. I wouldn't say the best because it's a little bit stupid to make such a competition. We didn't make a run, we didn't make Olympics, we didn't count how noisy they can play and how loud or how fast or something like that. So in the music field, to make a measurement that way is a little bit... but I agree that this orchestra is one of the most... the greatest stability of the orchestras of the world also. And they have a kind of tradition which is rare now. You find all over the world, even the best orchestras of the world are collecting very, very good musicians around them. But still this orchestra has more character where it belongs to, Amsterdam. I think there are a lot of also German musicians and other musicians, but it has a kind of tradition which you find out it's from the country. It's influenced by the tradition of the country.
give your knowledge to next generations. In what tradition would you pose yourself? Whose tradition do you pass on to the new generation?
This is, of course, it's an old German tradition. I would say I would start with one of the most, for me, most influential and impressing maestri. This was Bruno Walter for me. The next was Wilhelm Furtwängler, of course, another kind of character also. And of course I knew Karajan very well, who had a new more modern line, but nevertheless he was educated at the same time. It was a kind of tradition he was aware of. And for me, I would say what I want to give the new generation is my deep knowledge, which I learned from old teachers, from old Gewandhaus musicians. Some of them really have played under Arthur Nikisch in the great time of the Gewandhaus Orchestra also. And the education of Mendelssohn still existed there. So the knowledge of how to create the sound of the different times, of the different style of the musicians is very, very high. And now I have to give it to the young musicians, to the young conductors.
Last year you celebrated your 80th birthday. This year you're celebrating your 60th jubilee in your professional career. Mm-hmm. Is conducting some sort of pleasant addiction, or do you try to solve a puzzle out of music, or what is that tremendous drive that keeps you traveling all the continents?
The drive is, I think that I have a vision. If I stop, I'm quite sure I'm only waiting how long it lasts until I die. And if I don't stop, God will say, friend, it's over, farewell. I don't want to have it dramatic. I would like really that nobody knows where I'm dying, how I'm very, very smart and very nice, and just being aware that I leave somebody behind me which is loving me and I love them. This would be the verse of it, but I would say that I was so fulfilled in my whole life. And to stop now was nearby impossible, because I think my mind and my body wouldn't remain the same way as I am now. And the point for me is, I would like to die being healthy. And then just someday it's the end.
Do you still have one dream that needs to be fulfilled?
No, not only one. I would like, look, I met my wife now 34 years ago in Rio de Janeiro. She was there in the orchestra. She is now a singer, and she is doing wonderful preparation for me all the time also. But she's still singing, and I hope that the fulfillment would be if I could see her, my daughter, my son who is now conductor in San Antonio, my daughter is mezzo-soprano, and I have 3 children also of the first marriage, which are somehow connected to music also. So I would like that I say farewell at the moment where I feel everybody is safe and able to continue life without me also.